Generational talent, franchise cornerstone, day one starter. Every April, the NFL sells certainty, and every year, the league proves how fake that certainty really is. The 2016 NFL Draft was loaded with confidence.
You can feel the energy inside this building and also across the street. The NFL Draft has finally arrived.
Scouts talked about safe picks, high floors, and can't-miss prospects. Teams thought they were building the future. Instead, they drafted one of the most brutal draft classes of the modern era. These are the 10 biggest busts of the 2016 NFL Draft. Starting with the second overall pick of the 2016 NFL Draft, Carson Wentz.
With the second pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Carson Wentz.
Wentz came out of North Dakota State with everything teams love. He was 6'5", 237 pounds, mobile, tough, and played in a pro-style system. He had just led North Dakota State to another national championship.
The Bison football team wins its 5th consecutive FCS national championship, the first team to ever do so in NCAA history.
The Eagles didn't just want him, they mortgaged the future to get him, trading multiple first-round picks to move up. Philadelphia believed they had their franchise quarterback, and for a moment it looked true. By his second season, Wentz exploded. In 2017, he threw for 3,296 yards, 33 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions in only 13 games. He was the MVP favorite before tearing his ACL in Week 14. The Eagles still won the Super Bowl, but that injury quietly marked the beginning of the end. After returning, Wentz was never the same. His mechanics deteriorated, his pocket awareness collapsed. He started holding the ball too long, forcing throws that weren't there. By 2020, he led the league in interceptions and sacks taken despite missing games. That season alone, he finished with 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and a passer rating under 73. Philadelphia benched him, then paid tens of millions just to dump his contract. He bounced to Indianapolis, then Washington, then the bench. And yes, even years later, teams kept calling. In 2025, Wentz resurfaced in Minnesota, not as a franchise quarterback, not as a solution, but as emergency depth after injuries ravaged the roster. That's the difference. Carson Wentz didn't disappear because he couldn't throw a football. He disappeared because no team ever trusted him again to be the guy.
Every time his left arm hit anything on Thursday night in the Vikings-Chargers game, he suffered a dislocated shoulder late in the first half of the London game against the Browns.
A quarterback once viewed as the future of the league became a warning label. Not because Carson Wentz lacked talent, but because the NFL doesn't care about potential once the cracks start showing. And the scary part is, Wentz at least gave Philadelphia one great season. Just a few picks later, the league saw what happens when a team drafts a quarterback purely on traits, without even that brief window of hope. Lynch came out of Memphis looking like the prototype teams dream about. He was 6'7", 244 pounds, had a rocket arm, and put up big numbers in college. In his final season, he threw for 3,778 yards, 28 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions, while adding another 383 yards and 10 scores on the ground. On paper, he looked like the future. Denver bought into it completely. Fresh off a Super Bowl win and desperate to replace Peyton Manning, the Broncos traded up into the first round to draft Lynch as their franchise quarterback.
With the 26th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Paxton Lynch.
The expectation was clear. He wouldn't just play, he'd take over. But the NFL doesn't care about measurables. And for Lynch, the league exposed everything. From day one, he struggled. The playbook overwhelmed him. His footwork was sloppy. His timing was late. Coaches questioned his preparation and his leadership. Even when Denver's quarterback situation collapsed, they still couldn't trust him to start. Lynch didn't just lose the job, he lost the locker room. In his rookie season, he started 2 games, throwing 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Year 2 wasn't better. He was benched, then passed over entirely for Trevor Siemian and Brock Osweiler. By 2018, Denver had already moved on. Over 4 NFL seasons, Paxton Lynch started just 4 games total. His career numbers were brutal. 4 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions, a 59% completion rate, and a passer rating of 74. For a first-round quarterback, that's not development, that's disappearance. After brief stints with Seattle and Pittsburgh, the league gave up. By age 26, Paxton Lynch was out of the NFL completely. Denver drafted him to be the next Peyton Manning. Instead, he became a reminder that arm strength and size don't make a quarterback. preparation does. And the truth is, that mistake wasn't limited to quarterbacks, because just a few picks earlier in that same draft, another franchise convinced itself that pure college dominance would automatically translate. That explosiveness alone could fix years of failure. Coleman came out of Baylor as one of the most explosive receivers in college football. In 2015, he put up video game numbers: 74 catches, 1,363 yards, and 20 touchdowns, winning the Biletnikoff Award.
Corey Coleman is the first Baylor player and the third Big 12 player to win the Biletnikoff Award.
He could score from anywhere: screens, slants, deep balls. It didn't matter. If Coleman had space, defenses were cooked. Cleveland believed they had finally found a true number one receiver. So when the Browns selected Corey Coleman with the 15th pick,
With the 15th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Corey Coleman, wide receiver, Baylor.
the hype felt real. Analysts called him plug and play. A franchise that had failed for years thought this was the turning point. The NFL had other plans. Cleveland threw Coleman straight into the starting lineup on one of the most unstable offenses in football. Quarterbacks changed weekly.
Through the hands of Coleman, and he can't believe it.
The system had no identity, and Coleman was expected to carry it all as a rookie. There were early flashes. In week 2, he went for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 50-yard score. For a moment, it looked like the Browns finally got one right. Then the injuries hit. Coleman broke his hand as a rookie and finished the season with just 33 catches, 413 yards, and 3 touchdowns. The Browns stayed patient. Year 2 was supposed to be different. It wasn't. In 2017, Coleman broke the same hand again. Drops piled up. Chemistry never developed. And when Cleveland needed reliability, Coleman disappeared. That season, he finished with 27 catches, 305 yards, and 0 touchdowns. 0. By 2018, the Browns gave up. They traded him to Buffalo. He didn't survive training camp. Short stops in New England and New York followed. All the same result. Corey Coleman's entire NFL career ended with 61 receptions, 718 yards, and 5 touchdowns. From 20 touchdowns in one college season to 5 in the NFL. By age 25, Corey Coleman was out of the league for a can't-miss pick. The miss was brutal. And the scary part is, Cleveland wasn't alone, because just a few picks later in that same draft, another team convinced itself that college dominance and highlight catches would translate instantly. Doctson came out of Texas Christian University as one of the most dominant contested catch receivers in college football. In his final season, he put up 86 receptions for 1,327 yards and 14 touchdowns, winning the Biletnikoff Award finalist honors and terrorizing Big 12 defenses every Saturday. At 6'2", with elite leaping ability, Doctson was marketed as a future red zone nightmare. Washington believed they had finally found a true number one receiver.
With the 22nd pick, the Washington Redskins select Josh Doctson.
When his name was called on draft night, the expectation was immediate impact. Doctson wasn't supposed to be developed, he was supposed to produce. But the NFL doesn't care how many jump balls you win in college. And for Doctson, the transition was brutal. His rookie season never even got started. An Achilles injury wiped out almost his entire first year, limiting him to just 2 games. When he finally returned, the explosiveness that made him special was gone. He struggled to separate. His roots lacked sharpness, and quarterbacks stopped trusting him in tight windows. Over 4 seasons in Washington, Doctson never topped 532 receiving yards in a single year. His best season came in 2018, when he finished with 44 catches for 532 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Deep down the right sideline, and it's pulled in, and into the end zone goes Doctson for a touchdown.
For a first-round wide receiver, that production was a massive disappointment. And here's the thing, even in unstable offenses, elite receivers show flashes. They demand the ball, they tilt coverage. Doctson never did. By 2020, Washington declined his 5th-year option and let him walk. Short stints with the Jets and Vikings followed, but the league had already made its decision. Josh Doctson's NFL career ended with 81 receptions, 1,100 yards, and 8 touchdowns. From college star to first-round pick to afterthought. For Washington, it was another miss. For Doctson, it was proof that winning jump balls isn't enough to survive the NFL. And the scary part was how fast the league repeated the mistake. Because just 1 pick later, another franchise looked at college tape, saw physicality, toughness, and reliability, and convinced itself those traits would translate against NFL coverage. Treadwell came out of Ole Miss as one of the most respected wide receivers in college football. He wasn't flashy, he was physical. In 3 seasons, he caught 202 passes for 2,393 yards and 21 touchdowns, earning first-team All-SEC honors, reputation as a tough, reliable target who thrived in traffic. Coaches loved his hands, scouts loved his strength. Minnesota believed they were drafting a ready-made NFL receiver.
With the 23rd pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Laquon Treadwell, wide receiver, Ole Miss.
And they bought into the idea completely. When the Vikings selected Treadwell, the expectation was simple: step in and contribute immediately. He wasn't seen as a project. He was supposed to be a chain mover, a possession guy, a safety blanket. But the NFL doesn't reward receivers who can't separate, and for Treadwell, that problem became impossible to hide. From his rookie season on, he struggled to create space. Defensive backs sat on his roots. His release off the line was slow, and without separation, quarterbacks stopped looking his way. Injuries early in his career didn't help, but even when healthy, the explosiveness just wasn't there. In his rookie year, Treadwell caught just 1 pass. Over 4 seasons in Minnesota, he totaled 65 receptions for 701 yards and a single touchdown.
Treadwell grabs that one, touchdown. Former first-round pick by the Vikings.
For a first-round wide receiver, that number is brutal. The Vikings kept waiting for a breakout that never came. They adjusted his role, reduced his snaps, lowered expectations. Nothing changed. By the end of his rookie contract, Minnesota moved on without hesitation. Treadwell bounced around the league after that, landing short stints with multiple teams, but the story was always the same. Limited snaps, minimal production, no impact. Laquon Treadwell entered the NFL as a safe pick. He left it as a reminder that physicality without separation doesn't survive at the highest level, and the league didn't need long to relearn that lesson. Because in that same draft, another franchise convinced itself that college dominance and safe traits were enough, this time on the defensive side of the ball. Hargreaves came out of Florida as one of the most decorated defensive backs in college football. In 3 seasons with the Gators, he was a 2-time first-team All-American, a Jim Thorpe Award finalist, and widely viewed as the safest cornerback in the draft. His instincts were elite, his footwork was clean, and his bloodlines didn't hurt either. His father was a former NFL player. Tampa Bay believed they were drafting a plug-and-play shutdown corner, and early on it made sense.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Vernon Hargreaves III.
When the Buccaneers selected Hargreaves, the expectation was immediate impact. He wasn't supposed to develop. He was supposed to start, lock down receivers, and anchor the secondary for years. But the NFL exposed him quickly. From his rookie season on, Hargreaves struggled with consistency. His technique broke down under pressure. He lost track of assignments. And despite his college reputation, quarterbacks attacked him relentlessly. In his rookie year, he allowed multiple big plays and finished with just 1 interception. Year 2 wasn't better. Penalties piled up. Missed tackles became routine. Coaches questioned his discipline and effort. By 2018, Tampa Bay was already rotating him out of the lineup. Over 4 seasons with the Buccaneers, Hargreaves recorded just 3 interceptions and never established himself as a reliable starter. For a corner drafted 11th overall, that production was nowhere near acceptable. By 2019, Tampa Bay had seen enough. They cut him mid-season, before his rookie contract even ended. Short stints with Houston and other teams followed, but the league had already made its decision. The confidence was gone. The trust was gone. The opportunities disappeared. Vernon Hargreaves entered the NFL as a safe pick. He left Tampa Bay as a reminder that college dominance doesn't guarantee NFL discipline or consistency. And the league didn't have to wait long to see the same lesson repeat itself. Because in that same draft, another franchise convinced itself that elite traits, confidence, and championship pedigree would be enough to survive on Sundays. Apple came out of Ohio State with everything scouts look for in a modern cornerback. He was 6'1", physical, fast, and played on one of the most loaded defenses in college football. In 2 seasons at Ohio State, he helped the Buckeyes win a national championship and built a reputation as a confident pressman corner who wasn't afraid of big moments. The Giants believed they were drafting a long-term replacement for their aging secondary, and they expected him to start immediately. New York didn't ease him in. Apple was thrown into the lineup as a rookie and asked to cover elite NFL receivers from day one. The learning curve hit fast. He struggled with assignments, lost leverage in coverage, and committed costly penalties. Quarterbacks targeted him early and often. In his rookie season, Apple allowed multiple touchdowns and finished with just 1 interception. His second year wasn't much better. Missed tackles piled up, Communication breakdowns became routine, and frustration started to show on the field. But the issues weren't just physical. Apple clashed with coaches. He clashed with teammates. Questions about his maturity and preparation followed him everywhere. By 2018, the Giants had lost faith completely. After just 2.5 seasons, New York traded Eli Apple to the New Orleans Saints for a mid-round pick, a quiet exit for a top 10 selection. He lasted longer in the league than most busts, bouncing between teams and contributing as a role player, but the expectations were gone. He was no longer a cornerstone. He was insurance. Over his career, Apple never developed into the shutdown corner the Giants drafted him to be. He became a cautionary tale of talent without consistency. Eli Apple entered the NFL as a top 10 pick meant to stabilize a defense. He left New York as proof that physical tools don't matter if the trust disappears. And somehow, that wasn't the last corner taken in that draft who learned that lesson the hard way. Burns came out of Miami as one of the most athletic cornerbacks in his class. At the University of Miami, he flashed elite speed, length, and ball skills, finishing his college career with 7 interceptions and 21 pass breakups. Scouts loved his upside. The Steelers believed they had found the next long-term answer in their secondary, a rare miss for a franchise known for drafting defense well, and they needed him immediately. Pittsburgh didn't ease Burns into the league. As a rookie, he was thrown straight into the starting lineup, tasked with covering NFL-caliber receivers from day one. Early on, there were moments of promise. Burns even finished his rookie season with 3 interceptions, giving the impression that the gamble might pay off. But the cracks showed quickly. Burns struggled with technique and discipline. His footwork broke down against sharp route runners. He lost leverage in man coverage and became a liability in zone. Quarterbacks began targeting him relentlessly. By his second season, the mistakes piled up. Missed assignments, big plays allowed, confidence visibly shaken. Coaches tried to simplify his role, but nothing stuck. By 2018, Burns had completely fallen out of favor. Over 3 seasons in Pittsburgh, Burns recorded just 4 interceptions and saw his snap count drop dramatically each year. For a first-round cornerback, the decline was alarming. The Steelers, a team known for patience, finally gave up. They declined his 5th-year option and allowed him to walk without hesitation. Burns bounced around the league afterward, landing short stints with multiple teams, but never regained a meaningful role. The trust was gone. The opportunity disappeared. Artie Burns entered the NFL as a high-upside first-round pick. He left as proof that athleticism without discipline fades fast in the NFL. And in that same draft, another team convinced itself that raw talent alone could overcome every red flag. Nkemdiche came out of Ole Miss as one of the most naturally gifted defensive linemen college football had seen in years. Coming out of high school, he was the #1 overall recruit in the nation, a 5-star prospect with rare size, strength, and explosion. At Ole Miss, he flashed that talent constantly. In 3 seasons, he recorded 7.5 sacks, 15 tackles for loss, and was a nightmare when fully engaged. Scouts didn't question his ability, they questioned everything else. And those questions were loud. Despite red flags surrounding effort, conditioning, and off-field maturity, Arizona convinced themselves they had found a steal, a first-round talent who slipped to the end of the round. When the Cardinals drafted Nkemdiche, simple, NFL structure would unlock his full potential. It never did. From the moment he arrived, Nkemdiche struggled to stay consistent. He flashed power one week, then disappeared the next. Coaches questioned his conditioning. His snap count fluctuated constantly, and despite his physical gifts, he never became a reliable presence on the defensive line. Over 4 seasons in Arizona, Nkemdiche played in just 48 games, starting only 1. He finished his Cardinals career with 4.5 sacks, a shockingly low number for a first-round defensive lineman whose only job was disruption. Arizona kept waiting for the light to turn on. It never did. By 2019, the Cardinals declined his option and moved on. Short stints with Miami and Seattle followed, but the story was the same. Limited snaps, minimal impact, no trust. Robert Nkemdiche entered the league with once-in-a-generation talent. He left it as proof that ability alone means nothing without discipline. And sometimes, it isn't discipline that ends a career. Sometimes the NFL takes something else entirely. Neal came out of Florida as the definition of a tone-setting safety. At 6'1", 211 pounds, he played the game violently. In college, he was known for big hits, leadership, and fearlessness over the middle. In his final season with the Gators, Neal recorded 96 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 3 forced fumbles, earning a reputation as an old-school enforcer in a modern NFL body. Atlanta believed they were drafting the heart of their defense.
With the 17th pick, the Atlanta Falcons select Keanu Neal, defensive back, Florida.
Neal made an immediate impact as a rookie, starting 14 games and finishing with 106 tackles. By his second season, he had become one of the most physical safeties in the league, piling up 116 tackles and helping lead the Falcons to Super Bowl 51. He wasn't flashy, he was reliable. Quarterbacks felt him, receivers heard footsteps, but the NFL is unforgiving. In 2018, everything collapsed. Neal tore his ACL in Week 1. He worked his way back only to suffer an even worse blow in 2019, a torn Achilles tendon, again in Week 3. Two catastrophic injuries in back-to-back seasons robbed him of his explosiveness, speed, and confidence. After returning, Neal was never the same player. The closing speed was gone. The physical dominance faded. Atlanta waited, but the spark never returned. By 2021, the Falcons moved on. Keanu Neal finished his Atlanta career with 408 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 4 forced fumbles. Solid numbers, but nowhere near what was expected from a first-round cornerstone. He bounced around the league afterward, but his role was reduced to depth and situational snaps. Keanu Neal wasn't a bust because of effort or talent. He was a bust because the NFL took his body before his career ever had a chance to peak. And sometimes, that's the cruelest outcome of all. The 2016 NFL Draft proves one thing brutally clear. College success doesn't guarantee NFL survival. Traits don't replace preparation, and hype collapses the moment the league tests you. This class produced stars, but it also produced a shocking number of early-round failures. Careers ended, expectations died, franchises paid the price. That's the NFL. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and explore more of our content here on the channel.